Right? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Need a motion for the approval minutes from the April discussion. So we'll just, by Mr. Martin, second. Second. Mr. Pershkevich. Is there any discussion, additions, deletions? No? Okay, Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Patrick.
Aye.
Mr. Reed.
Aye.
Mr. Pershkevich.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Carried. Okay, next. Cemetery bids and lawn mowing. We received no bids for lawn mowing. We received bids for cemetery. This one here is from Weekend Warriors Mowing, 1410 Kinderhook Road, Chittenango, New York. North Road, 3950 per visit. Boston Road, 3950 visit. Order. Next one is Hodge Lawn and Landscape. Landscape, bid for North Road is $250 for mowing and weed eating. Boston Road is $30 for mowing and weed eating, and Smith Ridge Road is $40 for mowing. Smith Ridge Road is $40. Is correct.
It was not, it was due to the on, it said, oh, we needed it.
So next one.
Yeah, it's something else, but other things came off of each other.
Yes, it did. Lawn maintenance includes the following: lawn mowing, tree trimming, offense, that's not practice, and mowing off.
Two locations.
Correct.
So
39.50,
$39.50
$79 versus.
50 for North Road, which they want 39. Boston Road was $30. They put in 39.50. So we got one's cheaper on the Boston. The other one's cheaper on the one's put up.
that's an option.
Sure, we can split them up. Yeah, let's split them up. So we can let Weekend Warriors know that they can go North Road, trim it for 39. Hodge know that he can do Boston Road for $30. Not bid on Smith Ridge Road, so $40. Anybody got any questions on that? Okay, the motion is to close that way.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second. By Mr. Top. Joe, you have everything.
I don't
I'll give you
have the
these
full-
back.
yeah,
You got it all down the way. you said.
Yes. yes, I do.
Okay. All right, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Will we be sure they provide insurance? Okay, can you come in?
Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Bruskevich,
Aye.
Mr. Ranger, Mr. Cobb, I'm an aye. Carry. A SCC contract.
Hey, John, real quick.
Yes,
I
sir.
found all the numbers for the auction, so whenever you're ready, I
Okay.
don't know how you want to do it, I can read through them or whatever.
All right, okay. SCC contract. One last year because of COVID.
Yeah, this one goes back to cover that.
Everybody read through it?
Yes. I have no problem with it, John.
Okay.
I thought maybe we should, or take a look at.
She has to look at
Yeah,
it.
she,
Yeah, she came from her. She's worked with John at that time.
no problem.
Okay. Okay, so I need a motion for that, please.
Move.
Motion by John Bruskevich, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Martin. Is there any discussion? Okay, Mr. Cobb.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Bruskevich.
Aye.
Mr. Ranger. Aye. I'm an aye. Carry. Okay, let's do discussion on fire trucks. Mr. Dobrowski's here, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we will get you out of the way. Is Paul Smith on?
Yes, he is.
Okay. We decided to put out for 2 fire trucks and this vendor has sold trucks other places. And this is what the fire departments would like. We set a cap of $650 each on the 2 fire trucks. And the one for Chittenango came in at $648,093.00. And the one for Bridgeport came in at $657,217.00. I called Chief Smith and let him know that his truck was over. And if he wanted anything over the $650, they'd have to either make this with the vendor to take stuff off or pick it up themselves. Paul, you on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, does anybody have anything you want to add to this?
I have something I want to add.
Go ahead.
I'm glad we have the fire chiefs to look over these specs, because I was telling John earlier, it's pretty complicated, just a comment like, and I appreciate it. I think we all.
Steve, got anything you want to add?
I do not, sir.
Everybody is fine?
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
Hey, Chief Smith, do you want to add anything?
No, I just want to say thank you. I know we're getting the truck a little early, so we'll make do and we'll see where we can cut. But I thank you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you to all your members for your hard-earned service and your dedication to the town of Sullivan.
Thank you.
What's the delivery date on these?
You're looking at approximately 390 days since they have signed.
All right, so we'll be past the April
Absolutely.
1st date of 2020.
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. So does anybody else have any questions at all? Yes, sir, Mr. Green.
Hey, Chief, which truck are you gonna retire?
Engine 3 will be replaced. That's the 2003 E1.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I will need a motion. To be able to sign the the contracts with Holden Enterprises, and we'll have to make changes to reflect the 650 on the Bridgeport truck. Correct? Okay, so our attorney will do that, we'll get them over to you.
Yeah, how soon? Just because we had till the 15th to get them in. We got a week extension for you guys.
Yeah, we're spending 1.3 million, we
Just
get another
saying
5 days.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would say that these folks could just reissue. I don't have their contract in a word form.
Yep.
As John said, put it in at that 650 for that particular truck.
Okay,
And it's, yeah, so the cover letter they did, haven't changed that.
okay, so I just need a patient to email it over to you guys.
Yeah, email it right to the back.
Not about, what's Beth's email address?
All right.
Okay, cool.
All right, we're good?
We're-
Okay, thank you
I'll get
very
it over
much.
to you probably within an hour.
Okay, all right, very good then.
All right,
Thank you very much. All right. Motion on that,
I'll put that in form of motion.
motion by second,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mr. Martin. Is there any discussion? Okay, Mr. Bruskevich.
Aye.
Ms. Right, Mr. Cox. Aye. Mr. Martin.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Here. Okay, and it's you now, what's the story on the Auctions International?
Okay, so Parks and Rec. Lot one is a walk behind snow blower for $175. Lot two is a walk behind, it's an area snow blower, I'm guessing that's a walk behind as well, for $800. Oh, that's something to do with brush.
Yeah, that was a
Okay.
rush, sweeping
All
off
right,
the sidewalks there.
all right.
Yeah.
Lot three is a Ferris mower for $6,300. Lot four is also a Ferris mower for $6,100. We have lot five is Dell monitors, $36. Lot six is Dell monitors for $11.
What number is that, Andy?
Lot six,
That's making money. You don't have to spend gas money to take it down to 09 or the low so.
lot seven is the chairs for $10. Lot eight is a 2009 Ford F-250 Super Duty pickup with plow, $7,200. Lot nine is a 2006 Chevy Express van for $3,650. And then the Town of Sullivan Highway Department has a gas-powered arc welder for $790.
All right, so I'll need a motion to accept all of these bids and surplus all of this stuff.
So
Motion by Mr. Bruskevich, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Martin. Is there any discussion? Okay. Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Ranger.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Bruskevich.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Here. Okay. Next, we have the 284 agreement. That's you and everything else, because we got that extra money from the state. Any discussion?
Well, Andy, you want to explain that? I mean, I know you've got more CHIPS money coming in, typically a 284 is just the agreement for the budget number in each year. This is higher than the budget number. So
Correct. It's, the difference is the chips increase of $51,388.14. Extreme winter recovery and PV New York increases and that totals $114,132.44. I believe it's a grand total of like 165 and change. So that's what that is at.
So 165 and you had 185.
No.
You,
Oh.
you
For-
changed.
So it really breaks down out of the $535,000, $350,520 is reimbursed to the town. Okay,
But so we're getting how much? Say that, I'm sorry.
so out of the $535,520.58 on permanent improvements, $350,528 is reimbursed. That should leave $180,000. That's town's portion.
Just a couple things. Normally, the 284 would match the budget. This is different in April. They've given us more. The 350 is still well below 370. So wouldn't it, I mean, we tend to be financially prudent. Wouldn't we just use that as in the DB 51-12-2 and then take the money that 185 that the town normally would remove from the taxpayers and use it to fund other things, trucks and other things you're purchasing, and fuel island?
I'm a bit confused on your question, but those monies are for paving. For agreements for paving.
Yep.
So those increases from the state are highly recommended to spend in the year that they're given, because if you don't spend the money the state gives you, they're gonna think you don't need it. Next year, come budget time, they're gonna say.
But that's what I said. You've got 350 that the state's giving us, and we have 370 budgeted.
We have 370 budgeted.
Yeah.
85 is.
Correct.
The other 185 is the town's portion. We typically would match that portion.
We typically could, but what I'm saying is taking the taxpayers' money, as long as the state's gonna give us the money.
Yep.
Why don't we take it and then take the 185 that the taxpayers have ponied up, and maybe we use it to do things this year.
I don't think that's a very good idea.
Okay.
Based on the condition of the roads, you can never put enough money into the roads.
It's just because we had agreed on 370 at the beginning of the budget.
Yeah, we agree on 370 because we don't know what the state's have. Once the state decides what they're gonna give out, then you would do a resolution and do a budget modification. So we can't budget more than what we have. So we've been through this every year. I go in and I ask for the money that we think we're gonna get, and you say, no, I don't wanna give it to you because we don't know what we're gonna get. And then I get the money, and then you don't wanna give it to me because we don't wanna do a budget modification. So anyway I approach this, it seems to be a negative.
Okay.
The
Okay,
state
so
is
let's
giving
turn
us
it-
money to spend.
Let's turn it into a positive. So why don't we do the 370, which we always budgeted. And that will get you how far? I mean, will you be in June, July, August?
370 doesn't go very far. I mean, I would say it
I know, but
probably
hear me out,
be.
because I don't know what the parameters are for this ACA money and all that stuff. So I'm thinking that if we get that, we do a budget modification, we can do more.
Once that letter comes, that's the official. So once that letter comes from the state, they will send a letter, and that guarantees that money.
Right.
At that point, then we would do a resolution in the budget modification.
When's the letter?
Should be anytime. So we wouldn't do any of this until the letter comes, and that is done. And obviously, we can't spend that money if you didn't do a resolution for a budget modification. So even though it's in this agreement, I can't spend it unless you guys
Right.
actually, at the time of that letter, give me the funds.
So you guys want to wait till you get the letter?
I'm fine with that.
Andy, this may not be a question for you, but how does the money actually flow from the state to the town?
You have to expend it. And we reimburse
So
it.
yeah, he has to expend it, he has to do the paving, then he
Gotcha.
turns that paperwork in, and then we get reimbursed for anything.
Okay.
But like he said, we've never trimmed him back or went back on it. Right. It's
Right.
always
No.
been, but the state, like he said, you don't use it, they'll take it back, or they'll find someplace else stupid to spend it, which they are very good at.
So these extra monies, they've never, probably 5 years ago, they started doing this. Instead of just increasing the chips, they've made some modifications and changed the name, so they can take it away. And that's what they use for the barcode chip. So it's really, it stinks because at budget time, we can't budget the check because we don't know what we're gonna get. We know one number we're gonna get. And so it's very confusing and it's very hard because when they send that letter, it's April, maybe May. And at that time, you know, okay, now I have this much extra. So how do you expend it? So that's when you do a resolution and make a budget modification.
If you
So-
remember, the state was in dire straits before the federal government bailed them
Right.
out. Now they're flush with cash.
So 165,000, that's a lot of money. In order for me to spend that, I mean, I have to spend it. So it's really hard for me to spend all that money and then wait for it to come back in. So it's a big chunk.
If you had a good plan in place initially, you actually modify the plan now to
Yeah, I'll modify it. You know. We'll definitely do extra.
good problem to have.
What roads are you gonna do, in the summer or spring?
So right now, as far as hot mix paving, we're gonna do Dyke Road. We're gonna do all of Heathfield, Ramsgate, Lonsdale. Everything behind the Lakeport Tavern, east, west, Larkin, Lake, Clay Hill Road. Those are all hot mix, and we're gonna do numerous roads on as far as chip seal, about 15 miles. of chip seal.
A lot, that area in Lonsdale, all that was,
You're going east to Lakeport, whatever, not west, because we talked about the sewer project. I know, I
Yeah,
know.
no, we've
you
already
guys are
gone
okay.
east, we're just doing that and no further.
Yeah.
So,
I know we talked about, we got some bad roads, just gonna have to patch them up.
yeah,
so
that's
we
what
can
we're
get-
gonna do. There's some, and there's.
Because I
multiple.
think we're gonna give them two proposals. We're gonna give them one with grinder pumps, an email today, I did not get time to read it from the beach. Grinder pumps, and it's another, I think, $2.5 million for it, but you know, that one grinder pumps, and that's a good thing, so it'll be up to the people, but we gotta get them presented. And if they put gravity in down there, that they will tear up all those roads.
So I mean, if you want to get the 284 agreement over with, you just put contingent on the chips increase with DWR and PPR. And again, that's contingent. So at the time of that letter, that's your guys' decision. So if you want to get it over with, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Another week. And we got it on stop work. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Highway truck purchase from the town of Verona. Purchase of a 2015 Mack as in condition, attached plow equipment for $125,000. We talked about this back in January. He does have some money from sold equipment, taking out, and giving back to him, which we agreed on. Where are you getting the rest of
My
it? Sandy, well, then,
my equipment fund.
anybody got any questions? Need a motion for that, please? So move. Motion by Mr. Martin. Second. Second by Mr. Ranger. Any discussion? Okay, Mr. Ranger. Mr. Yushkevich.
Aye.
Mr. Cobb. Aye. Myself, I'm Gotta have myself. Okay.
Thank you.
You got anything else, you want?
What?
Anything else?
No.
Is Chief Smith still on?
So, he's not.
He's not, okay.
Something is there?
No, we're fine. Is he on there? Or- Nah. The fire police are having issues with people giving them a hard time. Imagine that today's day and age. So they asked the fire police body cameras. They wanted to know if we would have a problem with them having them. And I told them I'd have to talk to the town board and our town attorney about that. I don't see that we would put the bill on it. That's what they wanted, they'd have to put the bill on it. So what's our advice to council on body camera?
Just like when you do have body camera, but the recording is a record, it's obtainable. And presumably our well-trained firefighters. I guess it's our
Fire police,
yeah, so
yes. They direct
they'll be
traffic
trained
stuff
on
and I
how
can
to
see.
properly
people-
use the cameras, and David, that'd be subject to any purchase they receive the necessary training. How to use it properly. And again, it's an evidentiary thing.
What is the chief's position?
He says they're having more and more issues with people giving the fire police a hard time. I can go down there, going around them, not even stopping and slowing down. But we had this issue with people flagging. That's why we went to auto flaggers in the town. And not only is it saving a few bucks, but you don't have everybody angry at the auto flagger. They can get mad all they want at the auto flagger.
They're not opposed.
No, actually, he thinks it's a good idea. Only chief was the only one that talked to me about this. I don't know what the other two chiefs want.
That's what I want to know. The other departments felt the
I
same.
have not talked to either one. Should we have a policy from the town, or do they have to have a policy from each fire?
We can help them do a policy. Police station.
Alright. So, guess then, our town attorney will help them with a policy for it. We're not opposed to it. Gary? No. Okay. Okay, Hamilton Brown, Bushnell Shore Road, water. Engineering agreement. That's the sign. They have to get going on the easements and survey. I need a motion for the surveying agreement with promo, which surveyors are Warren Randy Survey. Motion for that.
I'll make that one.
Those are Cobb, second. Second by Mr. Bruschetta, any discussion?
Just enough afterwards, figure that in.
No, that's all part of everything that we have to do. Surveying and all that stuff.
They consult with these homeowners too, or
They're going and actually going out.
Yeah, that's why I wondered, so there is some communication.
Yes,
with those
there will be
homeowners while they're-
communication. Dunkel actually is the one that has to be, right? On it.
Yeah.
Survey.
There's
Said,
one of properties at the end of Hamilton Brown.
okay, any other discussion? Okay, Mr. Bruschetta. Mr. Cobb. Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Ring. I'm an aye. Here. Okay. Discussion. Taylor on. Screen for us too. Jeff on.
Yes. Just was.
Hey, Jeff, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Can you
go
hear-
ahead.
Ed Reed is on here too. Here. He's gonna
Yep.
speak. I believe.
I'm cutting in and out, but I think I'm okay now, so. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Just wanted to introduce the project to you. Been working with Jeff a little bit on some conceptual plans for his property on New Boston Road, whereby at this point we're to a point where we're seeking your board's approval to refer this to the planning board for consideration for the zone change from agricultural to a PDD. Had some maps dropped off for you for your reference. As you can see, at this point, Jeff is considering a campground with a banquet facility on the property. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to see the maps, but on the south side of the road on New Boston is where the campground is proposed, with the banquet facility on the north side of the road.
You guys all have your maps.
Jeff, do you want to give us about what the project's about? So let's.
Well-
People.
Yeah. What the description of the project is, basically, it's a camping resort. It'd be a higher end, nice campground, all themed along the wild, and incorporating a banquet wedding venue that would be like barn style, kind of to not be out of the neighborhood, so it'd fit the surrounding area. And just like I said, incorporating the wild theming. And it would generate tourism tax money. There's not a lot of places to stay, the town of Sullivan, so it would give places for people to stay. It would help surrounding businesses. Just overall, I think it'd be a positive for the community. And the nice thing is there's not really a lot of neighbors around there other than the bus garage and myself and my properties.
You guys wanna do? Wanna look at it more?
How long would it take
Question?
to go stages, or
What was that?
how long would it take?
Anticipate between possibly 1 to 2 years.
Need a zone change first, is that what I heard?
You need a.
Yes.
Is the TD better route than extending the overlay district?
recreational overlays out there already?
Well, it doesn't extend that far.
No, it doesn't go that far. We didn't
Is
put it
it-
up- we didn't put it up
It's
there.
better to try to
It
extend
seems
that or
like this,
PDD?
in my opinion, this is set up for a PDD because he's got different uses and he can tailor it, if you will, to his needs and then planning board can work on it from there. But I think a PDD is an appropriate way to approach it, I would say.
Well, mimic most of the stuff. Overlay district, recreational.
Well, it'll, whatever the applicant says this is what we want it to be, you as a town board can do a local law, of course, the planning board will give you the recommendation on it. So you've got the tools are there to do this. But a PDD, in my opinion, would probably be the way to go.
Hey, Jeff, on,
Yeah.
this one thing that has all these, slots here, it looks like about 180, no, 200 something. Are all those like where you park a vehicle, or like a RV or camper? Or some of it where it's.
Yeah, it would be all RV camper, and then there would be some smaller cabins. I don't really want to. There's not really any tent sites. Like I said, it's more. We're trying to make it more of higher end, nicer facility.
Just for clarity, just so you guys are aware, the plan does call right now for 212 full hookup campsites with 51 cabins, which would be kind of a log style cabin setup.
Where would those be on this map, the ones that are there?
Yep. So if you go to sheet 3, which is CE 111, the campsites are the oval and the cabins are the rectangles as far as the labels are concerned.
Is this the type of a camping area that you run water through all the campsites and electricity? You provide utilities to each one of these sites, or is it just a river?
Yes. So right now, Jeff is proposing that all of the campsites be full hookup. So that would be water, sewer, and electric.
For all the sites, including the tent sites, or is it just gonna be a mixture of?
For all sites.
No tent site.
No, I'm sorry. There are no tent sites. This is just for the campers and for the cabins.
The infrastructure for all this is viable and.
Yeah, so we're in the process of working on that. Again, we're at sort of this conceptual phase, so we haven't dove deep into the utility questions just yet, for obvious reasons. But there are no sewers on New Boston Road, so all of these would be serviced by on-site septic areas, which again would be designed and permitted per state health code.
Is the banquet center the restaurant that's on this drawing?
No,
Nope.
that's
So the banquet, right.
Yeah.
So the banquet center is separate. And that is on the north side of the property, which is shown on sheet 4, which is CE 112. Last sheet of the set.
We have a list of what's going to be done, or you guys just looking at maps? We don't have a listing of what's going to potentially be done on the Boston Road.
was that a board member? I
Um,
can't.
I mean, John, Yeah, sorry, that was me. I just sneezed. John, do we need anything else? What else would we need to move forward with this?
And I can talk to Ed in more detail, be happy to do that, Ed. And there's chapter 275, which I think you've already seen.
Yep.
And Mr. Taylor's been through this a couple of times, so he knows. So there'll be a narrative, some other things that kind of what's been submitted so far. So, and I can walk you through, we can carve out some time and go through all of the things that the statute calls for, so you know that you've got it covered.
Yep.
So, John, at this point, do we need to recommend this? So we need to recommend that this get moved to the planning board?
It's that's your discretion where you want it to go from here.
Yeah. You do
What was
this in
that? I
phases, or do
couldn't hear that well. We would like to
do
be
this-
referred to the planning board, yes.
Would you do this in phases or would you call this whole?
My goal is to do it all in one phase. I'd like to get it done. I'm gonna be applying for some financing, but that's obviously contingency on approval. But I'd like to do it all at once and just get it done. So
Yeah, initially, some time ago, you mentioned that there was going to be a camping area across the road from the lot. Is that gone by the wayside now?
well, I just with this property, I think it fits a lot better, and then the neighborhood probably wouldn't have to see more signs all year round. But yeah, I think that this property, just with the more acreage, the fact that it's got a rise on one side basically and the bus garage on the other, so it's not really impacting any neighbors greatly. I think it just is an overall better fit over there. It gives us a lot more area for septic. And so that was just the decision of why to have it over there. And the other area was only 10 acres and this is over 100.
Missed that. How many acres?
This is over 100.
It's 108, 118.
So, yeah, we need a motion to move this to the planning board if we want to go forward with this.
Yes, you would, and at point when it's the planning board, I have to prepare a local law that will last too. So ultimately, there'll be a local law. So yes, get it to the planning board, formally move it to the planning board.
Are you making the motion? Out in the past time, John has been abstaining. I've been helping with these PDDs, so. I think so, as deputy supervisor. So Tom, you're making the motion to move forward with the plan PDD. Mr. Taylor has proposed and pass it on to the planning board. Is there a second? Gary Ranger is the second. Any further discussion? All right, Tom Cott.
Aye.
Gary Ranger. John Bishevich.
Aye.
Nyman, aye. John Becker, your extension. Okay. All right, moving on to the planning board, gentlemen.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, next we have our carbon page. Did everybody get a list about their flag?
No, I just gave it to you, I just didn't know if you wanted to. What do you want to do?
I don't want to name them all off.
Got 12 employees, she got it in her budget.
She got in her budget. They all range from $12.50 an hour to $17 an hour. She's got 2 supervisor positions here. I got to do it this way. Laborers, Sullivan Park, $12.50. Chapman Park to 1250. Coordinators, playground coordinators, 1450. Rec aids at 1250 and 1275. One is a return. Sullivan Park, rec aid, 1250. 1250 Park rec aid, 1250. Chapman Park rec aid, 1250. And then we had the two advisors at 1714. Lori's been doing a good job up there. I sat with her for an hour, 10 minutes a day. John's been sitting with her and talking to her. And, she gets really nervous about it. She's doing a good job. I'll need a motion to approve everybody here. Motion by Mr. Bruskevich, second. I'll second it. Second by Mr. Martin. Is there any discussion?
If we can, in the near future, maybe we can have the next meetings to.
Yeah,
Plan it.
Yep.
Just what she's planning, or hoping to be able to do based on, hoping.
Now, a lot depends on this. Well, she wants to get, I'll give you a brief overview. Some of the soccer, John, do you want to do it or not?
Okay.
Our programming back up maybe through the summer, so basketball. A lot of it depends on the fall on the school. You know, whether we're gonna be able to get back in the schools, I don't know. I think we may be changed forever. You know, it's that Jeff is here and he's the head guy at the school for the facilities and, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. I know they brought all the kids back this week and it's been a major undertaking, just that, let alone having, you know, all kinds of kids running around at night in the schools, having to clean with stove and stuff and everything. So, not sure how that'll look, but her outdoor programming is going well. She's got a lot of it she wants to do. We're planning on definitely the fishing derby in the fall. So that'll be the new improved pond with all the amenities there. They did stock it with bass. Hopefully they took. And we'll see what happens. But she got pretty good programming. I'll ask her to come in. Next meeting. Okay, so I need the motion for this. Motion by Mr. Bruskevich, second. Second, all right. All right, no more discussion. Okay, Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Ranger.
Aye.
Mr. Bruskevich.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Carried. Okay. Budget modification. Increasing the DA 599 appropriate amount of $125,000, DA 130.2. Highway machinery equipment. This is to purchase the 2015 backed up truck. Town of Verona, as per highway superintendent's request. Need a motion for that? I'll make it. Motion by Mr. Ranger, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Martin. Is there any discussion? Mr. Ranger.
Aye.
Mr. Bruskevich.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Cox.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Carried. Okay, next we have one firefighter application.
Wayne Miller,
Let's go.
I know him, he waited to go back, you know, he moved back, he was a good firefighter. Put him back.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Cox. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Martin. Is there any discussion? Hey, Mr. Bruskevich.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Cox.
Aye.
Mr. Ranger. Aye. I'm an aye. Okay.
What about Tim
You
East?
got 2 meetings.
Oh, we got two Eastman.
Sorry.
Sorry, I got
Yeah.
to stay together.
Yep.
Okay, we need a motion for Mr. Eastman.
I'll move that, John.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bruskevich. Discussion. Hey, Mr. Ranger.
Aye.
Mr. Cox. Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Bruskevich.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Carried. Okay. We've gone through everything pretty much. Cleanup items that we're back at ACA money that we're supposed to get. I know that villages money has to flow through the town. I don't know how any of that's gonna work. We're waiting for guidance from Treasury on it all. We don't have any of the guidance at the county yet either. I did find out on your town topics. They had a thing on the marijuana and the town topics this time around. I think it was last time. But if we have a delivery in the town, we will get quite a bit of sales tax. The county only gets 1%. The state splits the sales tax with the township, which is what, 8%?
I think it said 8, but I think most of it goes, the town's gonna make out better. They don't need a little piece of it.
Well, the state's gonna tax it at 20, so the state, I think, is at 12% maybe. The state's at 12, and I think the county gets 1, the town gets 8. However it's divided, I know that's more. So I don't know, and I don't think that we can, we cannot put it up on the ballot. for a vote. We have to make the decision.
Can't do a mandatory referendum, you can only do an opt-out subject to permissive. Then you have to adopt a local law prior to the end of this year.
So we're gonna have to bite the bullet, and we're gonna have to decide yes or no. And then if somebody's opposed to it, they'll have to put in a petition to force it to, and then it will go to a vote, public referendum, right?
Correct.
So how does that work if we drag our feet until September or October?
You'll have,
Put it on the ballot for a vote.
well, I mean, you're gonna get on it as soon as you can, but literally this is just coming out now. We're all in seminars. I'm having a meeting with my department on Friday. Go over the whole, we'll be updated on the process.
Hand out drawings and that thing.
Not for tape.
So we're gonna have to make the decision, we can't put it out of the basket. So I will, find out more in the next couple weeks, so
Yeah.
John will fill us in on it. Mark, come in and talk to us one night. If you guys want to, from the county perspective, from the administrative standpoint.
There'll be zone, if it ends up that you folks or this town decides that it's something that can occur, a dispensary and certain other aspects of it can come under zoning in terms of where and how and reasonable limitations. So that's all being looked at by NICOM and Association of Towns and their commission of guidance on that. Should that happen. But again, this doesn't start way down the future, plenty of time for that. It's just this upcoming year that we have.
That we have to decide when we're around.
Industrial park?
Sorry?
Industrial park.
Yeah, they won't want that. That'll be up to you guys, yeah.
Well, if we're just thinking, probably Bridgeport on the line there, right, someplace where it's something we'll have to bring with, maybe we ask for public input in the meantime while we're making our decision. Ask whether they feel that we should in or out of this thing, after we get all the facts on the split of the sales tax and everything else, we put out some facts and do a little poll. Maybe we'll do something like that.
Going on, the village at the same going up. What is it, in or out?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Yep. Yep.
Good thing was looking at
Have you had much calls on this yet?
No calls.
No.
I haven't had any calls on my
Maybe
point
you'll
of
hear
view
it.
that we're done.
Yes, sir.
Will the United Nations also?
Yeah. If they sell it, then they'll, tax free. They'll charge sales tax. Yeah. I don't know if they'll do that. We have to give a call and ask. Nobody says that. Okay, I have a letter here from Mr. Oot, asking that we cut down all of the trees on remove all the trees on Whisper Ridge along the west side of the road. Mr. Oud is a year too late. They all were replaced in the fall. So I was up there and the trees, they're large trees. Mr. Gibbons happened to get one of them in his yard. They're just starting to get buds on them now, so they're budding a little late. I suspect that being transplanted in the fall, but I just wanted you to know I got the letter from Mr. Roots. Also, this weekend is cleanup weekend for Bridgeport ELCO down in Bridgeport. Highway departments has a dumpster down there. Leaves, lawn clippings, all that stuff, correct? Goes in there?
No, it's for, basically trash along the road. So anyone that goes out and collects and cleans up the road, and actually, even if people go out and collect the trash, if they leave the bags on the side of the road, we will pick them up. If they don't have any way of transporting, so we will do that. But there will be a dumpster in Bridgeport that's available for roadside trash, not for cleaning out your garage or your basement.
Washers, dryers,
Right,
none of that stuff.
it's for cleanup Earth Day, and we do police that pretty good. If there is any electronics or tires, please do not put them in the dumpster. Otherwise, we have to dumpster dive and get those out of there. So,
Beth, can you see if Golden sent you that email? So I get that signed. You can cover that. The other thing is that, has everybody looked at their proposed fee schedule from the codes department? Okay. What are your thoughts?
Well, John, we were having a conversation earlier, and I looked at all the fee schedules. I had some thoughts about the solar farm fee schedule, because that was as illustrations of other townships that had it. But the conversation, John was saying it is, can I call it labor intensive?
Yeah, the cost relates to the amount of effort the codes office has to put into inspecting and administering it. And what we've seen so far, it's a full-time job. I've talked with a code officer in another town, and that gentleman is busy all the time dealing with solar projects. So yeah, it can be very labor intensive.
Maybe, well, that's for a solar farm.
For you to-
Maybe what we have to do is we hire a third party to just do the codes for that project, and they gotta pay the fee.
something.
Oh, I agree.
So now we're not tying up our labor for just the solar farm.
No, it looks like, on the high end, it's $1,000 per megawatt. John, is that like the rest of
No,
this would?
no.
Commercial
That's
solar farm,
Commercial solar farm.
Right.
3 kilowatts, $1,000 fee, it says, 4
Oh,
kilowatts.
kilowatt, you said megawatt.
Oh,
Yes.
Megawatt, that's the big, those are the big boys.
yeah.
Megawatt,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be $1,000 for sure.
Yeah.
Solar farm.
$1,000 per megawatt.
Right, so third party inspections.
is that sewer stuff that you sent out part of this, or no? Is that separate?
No, I didn't do anything with sewer charges. I did, some, but go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, well, just a comment, I'll just stay with the commercial solar farms. I started working on a model. What I mean by a model would be each one of these, it looks like they're charging differently, each one of the towns that we have illustrations on. So I'm not really too sure if you took a solar farm and just compared it down the line, what it would come out. We need a little bit more research on what it would look like.
I sent around, I don't have it with me, I sent it over to Phil. I sent around a spreadsheet. I had somebody do a survey of the fees that were being
Yeah, we
charged.
got it back here. It's on the
Wait,
second
Yeah,
page.
mine,
It's on the second page.
that's mine, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, you can look in there and it gives you the general sense of how they're charging. Oh, Johnson made an interesting comment about a third party person, paying for it that way.
I think on a commercial solar farm, that's the way to go.
They-
They
I-
have to pay, a third party and, plus the fee to the town.
I kind of agree, John, because this can be kind of confusing. You know, do we want to charge per kilowatt, or do we want to charge per solar panel?
Or
do we
you
wanna
charge by value,
per acres?
yeah, you charge by value of the system as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't the state want to limit that?
All of this will be taken away from us soon by the state. They might step in and just decide they're gonna set the limits. And certainly they're saying they're gonna do that with these mega projects that are over 20 megawatts, 25 megawatts under that are the 14 section.
What should scare you is on your way home. Yeah, scary job. It's like out that, that beautiful farmland turning into solar farms, that there would be no more of a spot for that. That would be a sin. The rule that is, but no young people going into farming today, farming what it is, that's an option for landowners. That's why a lot of people are doing it.
John, is the average solar farm in this, is it 4 megawatts?
Yeah, they
So-
usually introduce them as a 2 megawatt, 5 megawatt. I got one Casanova that combines, could be, if they do it, 10 megawatts.
Well, isn't the one in Thunder gonna be 12,
Oh, that one's,
20?
that one's in the stratosphere, yeah, that one's massive. That's gonna be one. That's gonna fall under what was called the old arc.
That's the 1,000.
Yeah, that's those are the big. like,
We're gonna
the
have,
state
we gotta
says,
pay
yeah,
attention on that, because we're gonna fuck that, because all of that impervious surface, we're gonna wind up with all their water.
well, yeah, if that's the case, that's a big problem.
That's a huge one.
Yeah,
Well,
so
where's
the,
it done?
well, the engineer, that's the thing is, if we find out the state's gonna approve one of those, we have to send a letter. To the town, or maybe even our engineers have to give us information to send to the siting agent, siting board, and say, hey, make sure this is gonna work, make sure these developers are required to make this drainage work.
We got 1,000 acres of impervious surface, where's all that water? We get bad, it's bad down here now.
Third party is the way to go.
I think,
And then what everybody would have to do is take a look at these different illustrations and find out which formula you want to apply to the fee side.
Right.
A simple way would be to go, according to this, would be $1,000 per megawatt.
Not per megawatt.
for kilowatt,
Okay, right here on town of Athens, it says.
That I don't like that one. That's not
No.
one of my towns. If it says
No,
1,000
okay.
per megawatt, no way.
Okay.
Do not like that. You only get $5,000 out of 5 megawatt.
Okay, in town of Marlboro,
Yeah.
that for 4,000, 5,000 kilowatts, it's $12,000.
See?
And that's a.
So this is, John, this is a survey of just the ranges that are out there for you guys. to get a
Sure, but
feel.
it's a good idea of where we should
Right.
apply.
How about right down there, Canastota Canal Road there?
They got one there. Yeah.
yeah.
I went behind, I drove,
Yeah.
I think
they're
there's 250
adding
acres.
I drove around here.
It's a 5 megawatt project. if I
Who-
remember.
Who's doing that?
Yeah, that was, Nexamp, I think was the name of the company.
Right, that's it.
Right.
5 megawatts would be 500 solar panels.
No, 5 kilowatts.
He said
I'm talking solar.
megawatts is the biggest. Those are the
Right,
massive
right.
size ones, but how many megawatts you have, they could run from 1 megawatt to hundreds of megawatts, and like what's over in Oneida County is, if not hundreds, thousands of megawatts, they're just blanketing the countryside with these. That's over by Rome.
That's going on to 365, out
It's,
365,
yeah,
right?
it's supposed to be for that process. The problem with these larger ones is it subtracts the town to a large degree from the siting process. Like our planning board would not be handling that. It goes to state board, handles all that. They allow, if you're a host town, you still get a pilot. You might be able to get a host community agreement to negotiate, but it's gonna take up a lot of your real estate. and A lot of administration.
Again, elections have consequences, and this is what you get with one-party rule from New York State. They're gonna tell your local planning board, your local town board, where these things will go when they're big, and what you're gonna do, what you're gonna assess it for and everything else.
So John, to your point, the town of Casanova is taking their existing, they have some concerns too, but they're taking their existing solar law that's been on the books for a number of years. And they've asked our office to revamp it to be, the balance and be protective of agricultural lands in a way that sort of would say agricultural lands of certain quality are very important. We're gonna steer these projects away from that. Maybe get it into some of the industrial areas or on lands that aren't as significant. And the one that's done on the Lucas farm, they found a way to put that one sort of in an area where nobody could really see it. So that particular one, which is 5 megawatts, everybody felt on board. They did a decent job of hiding it and not seeing it. But there's another one coming up where the residents they're already sending letters because it's clearly seen by a lot of different residential properties.
But it's a massive one, the state site.
Yeah.
And not
These are
worry
all
about
five.
what anybody
These are
says.
5 to 10, but not this one.
You can either one in Rome.
Huh?
Rome.
Yeah, but that, what I just mentioned, that farmland down there, they're wide open,
Yeah.
get the sun, that would be.
So that Casanova law
Brian Shane.
would address that. What I'll do is I'll circulate
Because it's
that
under
for
the
you guys
threshold.
to see, I'll let you guys see what they're thinking about and see if that's something.
That's
you're
great.
interested in.
There's a lot, really a lot to it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're with me.
Okay, does anybody else have any other questions or comments or discussion on the rest of the proposed fee schedule?
Yes, I do. It was kind of, when you're looking at the fee permits, the base fee is $45 for almost every application that comes in. And I need to talk to either, Phil or Larry about why isn't the fee for accessory building different than the base fee for a single or multiple family dwelling? The only variation in this whole thing is the $3 per $1,000 estimated construction value. It just seems, just doesn't seem like there's a diversity between the activities. One has got to take more time than the other.
Well, here's what you got, again, coming from New York State with all of their massive brain power and all. That if you want to build a 1,500 square foot house, no matter what the value is, but if you want to put an addition on your house, and the addition's over 20 grand, I don't care if it's a 3x3 porch today, it's gonna cost you 20 grand, you have to have a standard architect's permit. So that's, I think that's some of what the difference is.
Okay.
It's just totally ridiculous.
Well, my suggestion would be that we have either Larry or Phil come in and just ask them some questions on why.
Okay, so you want me to have Blair come to the next meeting, or you're gonna do it on your own?
I'll do it I'll be glad to do it on my own, but I think we have to talk to the board.
All right, I'll have Larry come to the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Take care.
You'll need Phil, because he worked on it.
All right, well, you want me to just have Phil in?
Yeah. He worked on, I think he worked.
Oh,
on
I think
it
so. You're right.
I think he worked on it mostly with Frank.
Right, he did.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
In a positive note of what he put out, a lot of it, he tried to update the cost, from years ago till now, especially with them, going out and looking at sites multiple times. Just for you, maybe, the proposed sewer hookup is the base fee $500.
Oh, and that's,
We took care of that.
that's in there?
Yeah.
So where are we at on all that, the documentation that you sent out for the permits and everything, is that?
I said, I don't know yet. I sent it out, I guess, waiting for feedback from the board. Maybe you guys didn't have a chance to look at it all, but I sent it. Yeah, so.
When did you send it?
Oh,
I don't remember
Mark.
seeing it.
Month ago? Probably.
It was, 29. That's the,
Of March.
yeah, let's see, make sure.
All right, I gotta apologize, I don't. remember reading it. So we'll take a look at it and get it on for the next meeting, so he's got that close.
I also would like to thank the codes department, people in filling out a sewer permit right now currently, they are emailing everything over to us as they get them, so. that's
They're
very
doing
helpful.
that.
Yes.
All right, anything else on the fee schedule? Want to discuss it more with Phil and Larry? Okay, does anybody have anything else? Seal and clean, get your bags at Landings Hardware. Pick a spot area to clean up. Anything else here down there?
No, those guys. They will have it covered.
Haven't had a blood clot yet. I got the J&J. I said that, you know, think about your families, think about your loved ones. We had some people close to the county that came down with COVID. One of them recently passed. It's not good. I'm not telling you to do it, not telling you not to do it. I'm telling you to look at the facts and look at the science and use your own common sense. Anybody have anything else is ready for executive session? No? Okay, with that, need a motion to adjourn. So motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Cobb. We are adjourned.
Did not confirm that guy yet.
Oh, did we get anything?
Nope, 6:11.